country and so forth and whatnot. So as we were doing the prep call, and I will let these guys introduce themselves in a second, Kathy inspired me to basically blow up our framework. And so this might be the last time you see this framework, because I'm introducing the new GELF framework, and it is fast and furious across the board. So thank you guys for sitting in spots without even prepping it. So that's my fun for the day. Do I leave that one up, or do I?
Yeah, I mean, where do you go from there?
I told you to wear no sleeves today, but anyway. So Michelle,
I didn't work out this morning.
Okay,
so,
all right. So say a quick hello, and then I'm going to ask Xavier and Kathy to do the same.
Yeah, hi everybody. Michelle Frank, GM of Global E-commerce at Logitech. Recently just started at Logitech, but spent previously a few years at Harman, which is also a consumer electronics company, running their global e-commerce as well. But right now, I'm at Logitech running their global e-commerce. They're a consumer electronics company. Most of you guys probably know them. Their personal workspace, very well known for their mice and keyboards and webcams, but they're also really big in gaming. Gaming's a big opportunity for them, and as well as video collaboration for businesses. So I'm in charge of their D2C for B2C and B2B.
Xavier?
Okay, Xavier Herrian. I'm actually a VP Client Success for Scalefast. I joined Scalefast about 2 years ago. Used to be more on the supply chain, logistics, payment and fraud. And before that, I have actually international experience. Went to different industries, so pharmaceutical, retail, and I'm sure I'm missing some here, consumer goods, and went to different countries as well, different continents actually. Did a little bit of Australia and US, Europe. I think that's pretty much it.
And Kathy, I've got another nickname that came up. You can introduce yourself if you remember the nickname that we were talking about. Otherwise, you can leave it to me. I'll get you at some point.
I remember.
Okay.
So, hi everyone, my name is Kathy Ondo. I lead marketing and D2C for Tile. I believe my nickname that I've given myself is Digital Ninja. And that's just, the reason I jokingly had described myself in that way was because my background is tried and true for the most part e-commerce and then consumer electronics. So unfortunately for me, while everyone here has had a breadth of experience, my background has been solely consumer electronics for many years. So I've been at Tile, I was leading GoPro.com, prior to GoPro I was at Apple, so I'm very much in the CE space, less so in soft goods or fashion, but I would maybe one day. Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you about like our partnership and where we're going with Tile. But Tile is really at an interesting time in our maturity. I would say that we've been around for a while. We sell the trackers, so you attach them to your keys, your wallets, anything you really care about, and we're helping you track that item. Apple recently came into that marketplace, so we're really excited. Thank you, Apple, for helping us grow our business overnight. And so it's been a wild ride. I'm really excited because we get to, from a marketing standpoint, we get to be a challenger brand, and from an e-commerce perspective, we get to grow, and the sky's the limit.
So the whole Fast and Furious came as she was talking about what they had done. So tell us a little bit about where you guys sell internationally. I know we're going to talk a little bit about some of the Fast and Furious things that got built in Europe.
Well, also the Fast and Furious, because Xavier reminded us of the main character there.
Okay, and yes, I was really hoping you hadn't grown your hair since I saw you last.
I know.
Thank you for the clean look. But yeah, tell us a little bit about what you guys did in Europe.
So when I started at Tile about a year and a half ago, Tile.com was, for the most part, still a little bit on the older traditional model, which was Tile.com was meant to be sort of a web store, help retail understand what our products do. And we realized part of the reason I came there was to really grow their e-commerce presence. And the first thing we did was look at international. The most important part of our growth strategy is growing international. If you know anything about Tile is a tracker that works agnostic of platform, so it works with your iPhone, works with your Android device. With Apple coming into the market, we had anticipated that Apple, there's a lot of Apple fanboys, I'm one of them, but buy that AirTag just because it's an Apple product. So we knew that there was going to be steep competition on the iOS side, so we indexed where we are indexing much heavier on Android. And when you think about Android usage international is much bigger than iOS. And so that's why we knew that there was a future opportunity there. We needed to lay the foundation really quickly. And so when I came to Tile a year and a half ago, I said, by Christmas, we are going to launch in Europe. And so we launched 16 countries within a couple of months.
Xavier, tell us how that, so Scalefast is new, thanks Dan for getting the team in. Tell us a little bit more about what you guys do. It's kind of new to the Global E-Commerce Leaders Forum, and let's talk about how this Fast and Furious, how you guys blew up Europe.
So Scalefast, we are an e-commerce platform. We help brands, so Time, Logitech, to actually go global on their D2C. For Time, in this case, for example, we're talking about Europe. For Logitech, here we will be more talking about LATAM. We provide the whole end-to-end D2C and e-commerce experience. That includes obviously payment, fraud, we do the order management, we also the merchant of record for the brand, and we do like we do have some specialties. So we have employee store, flash sales, which we can provide for the brands. The only thing that we don't do is actually marketing. We leave that to actually the brand. I think that they can focus on the marketing while we take care of all of the e-commerce side. We also do a lot of local payments, local fulfillment. So we are the specialist in those areas, and we have the brand can actually leverage all of this experience. We have a very good team actually in Spain and here in the US as well. That brands can actually leverage.
So Michelle, you've spoken about stuff you've done with Harman in the past, and speak about your new company. But yeah, tell us overall where you guys sell and how the models, and then we'll talk a little bit about the stuff that you guys have been doing in LATAM, especially in Mexico.
Yeah, sure. So Logitech is a very traditional run manufacturer, and so we are primarily in the wholesale business, but for D2C, we're primarily just in US and Europe today, but looking to expand globally into LATAM. We see as huge opportunities. But we are locally run in US with local distribution, and same for Europe, as we are a European company.
So we had talked earlier about just, I guess when we started this morning, about this change in distribution, and Jonathan and Matthew were talking a lot about how the marquee brands have really taken this kind of platform as a service approach to working with all their international partners, wholesale partners, and so forth and whatnot. I know when Jim and I did a study with NRF a couple years ago, it really kind of jump-started this conversation at GELF about, how do you kind of bring your distributors up to speed. Can you guys talk a little bit about some of those challenges and we'll start with you, Michelle, some of the challenges you face working with those kind of legacy distributors, especially the ones that may have their head in the sand and may not be able to get it out?
Yeah. I mean, being a traditional manufacturer, we do have these distribution agreements globally. So we do have to hold to them, and they're, like you said, some of them are not ready to help support us in e-commerce, and they're more traditionally run. So it is unfortunate that we have to work with them, abide by the agreements that our company has set forth. And so sometimes that means just giving them a cut. Sometimes that means just going elsewhere and seeing which markets that will allow us to service e-commerce through other channels that they don't necessarily support. So that's something of why we've partnered with Scalefast, and really it is to control the back end for us, to help us with the distribution and fulfillment, to be the merchant of record and payments and fraud, where we need that local expertise that they are willing to come and partner with us on, and then we manage the front end experience, that customer experience, because that is so important to us to maintain that brand message, that customer relationship, and really control the end to end, and which is why we partnered with Scalefast and not with one of the local distributors where we tend to lose an end to end experience or even the front end experience. So, for that model was very important to us, and of course the local marketing efforts and really understanding the local and regional markets.
So Xavier, LATAM, a huge distributor-led market, and maybe that's changing. Certainly we talked about in Jim's session on LATAM yesterday, they touched a little bit on that. What were some of the ways that you guys kind of worked with the Logitech team to kind of make LATAM and Mexico kind of come online so quickly?
Yes, so there's a lot of things. So one is about the actual distribution, obviously, that's something that's pretty very important. We do have a few models. We have a model where we can actually leverage the existing supply chain of the actual brand, or we can actually provide directly the brand with a full logistics experience that we already have in country, which is localized. You also take care of all of the custom, which can be also a burden for some of the brand. The other things too is about payment. That's definitely somewhere where in LATAM there's a lot of local payment, which we don't even know about here. So bringing all of this expertise was definitely key into this project. The last part I think is also definitely partnering with the brands. So we have a strong partnership. We leverage. We have a dedicated team of store operators. We have back-end people who can actually help on the day-to-day. We also have a strategic account manager, and all of this is definitely key to successfully launch what in this case in Mexico.
Yeah, so Kathy, we talked about the traditional way you've worked has been through the big box, international retailers, margin accretive sometimes, and there's a risk mitigation story as well. I mean, maybe contrasting your kind of past before Tile with what you guys are doing now. I don't know the extent to which you guys are depending on that same distributor, or if you're fast and furious and just going direct and leaving them behind. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I think this is the first time in my career where the company, this is pre-COVID, had a plan to stand behind D2C first and put resources against growing that business first and foremost, partially because a lot of the Tile exec team had come from GoPro, and so we've learned from past mistakes to not to be over reliant on retail, and then if anybody's here from Amazon, I'm sorry, but also Amazon as well. So the strategy was to really grow the direct business pre-COVID, and so we have always been very careful and I think strategic around the partners that we took on from the beginning, so that we would be able to quickly grow the D2C business. So it's been a world of a difference when you're not fighting for resources or trying to go back on contracts and negotiations we've had in the past. Our problem was we needed to get into the markets quickly. Fortunately, we were starting to build out a marketing team at the same time. So the good news is, Scalefast is our partner to help us get the commerce solution in place while we were building the marketing solution. So once we did that, it allowed us now to just focus on marketing, grow and scale marketing. We do have retail partners in those markets, but without D2C presence, those other channels were not really going to grow. So the goal was bring D2C in, and that actually will help rise all boats.
So, would have loved to have kept talking on some of the stuff we had going with the KOLs and the influencers on the last session. Obviously, the marketing is kind of where you come in. Tell us a little bit about how your international marketing is evolving, and why don't we start with Europe, and if you want to speak to where you see some of the other international markets going too.
Yeah, so we started out with our core channels, which are paid social, paid search. We're moving into influencers. It's pretty huge in Europe, so it's really essential for us to sort of diverse our portfolio, particularly in Europe. We're not holding our current strategy for the US and ensure that that's the same strategy across Europe. So we've done a lot of research around which countries we have awareness, which countries we're low in awareness, and we're shifting our marketing strategy at the country level to support that. The good news is with the Scalefast partnership, We launched quickly, like I mentioned, but it allowed us also to launch in 23 languages as well. So now I guess the hard job now is to do marketing in those languages. So what we're trying to do now is figure out our right marketing stack and figure out the right portfolio across each country and which languages. So it's a good problem to have.
Michelle, I know it's been fairly new there, but how are, so a lot of times we talk about influencer marketing, social media, it's a lot of fashion and things like that. I've never met an influencer for like a keyboard or anything like that, but how are you guys looking at, as you go more digitally first, how do you look at the market, the change in marketing?
Yeah, so it's interesting. We recently partnered with some Olympians, on their personal workspace, and so it's about defying logic against, not just your traditional workspace. And coming out of COVID, we didn't need to sell, webcams because those just sold for themselves. We didn't need to influence that. Everyone needed a webcam. But also 50% of our business is gaming, and so there's a huge medium, a huge channel for gaming influencers and this whole gaming stream and gaming networks that are just massive, and it's a totally different stream of marketing.
Well, guess who's not a gamer? Tell us a little bit more about some of the other customers you guys have been working with, and again, how are you blowing up the traditional GELF framework and going fast and furious in other markets?
Well, the fast and furious, I think the name of the company, Scalefast, is there for something. We actually do scale very fast. We help brands to go definitely into. So this is very disturbing.
Sorry to throw you on. I know it's disturbing. I'll move it.
No, it's all good.
It's asked if you could just call him Vin Diesel from now on.
He's going to be Vin. I can't wait till you guys get back to the office. Sorry if I created problems.
It's gonna be my new social media post. Or LinkedIn, right?
You're the GELF framework influencer.
Yeah, this is what we should have put on the GELF LinkedIn post.
Anyways,
So we do help, and we do go very fast. So we help the brand grow into a lot of different markets. We have the whole infrastructure, the whole experience to actually go. As Kathy said, we launched into 16 countries, 20 languages, all of that into a 3-month period, which is actually very difficult to achieve. But that's where the partnership actually is also very important.
so we've got a couple minutes left. Bree, thank you again, and big shout out to Bree for running the whole stage in here for 2 days. So thank you so much. Any questions? Anything you guys would like to talk about other than? And again, I've never even seen a Fast and Furious movie, so I'm like realizing how old and lame I am. But any questions? Anybody want to jump into the conversation? Any closing thoughts? Any hints on where we go next for both of you guys? Michelle, I'll put you on the spot first.
Yeah, I mean, for Logitech, it's very new D2C, and it's a new channel for them and a growing channel, which is why I came on board. And so there is so much opportunity with global e-commerce outside of the US and Europe. So really excited to expand into Latin America and India and APAC, especially with gaming being such a predominant product for us. There's just so much opportunity, there for us. So.
All right, Ninja, take us home.
Well, in true spirit, I would say, number one, I think Latin America has just become an interesting area for us, particularly because it's just so challenging to get product into some of the LATAM countries. So that's of interest. I'm sort of concerned about my prioritization skills because I want to do Latin America, I want to do APAC. So I'm trying to figure out right now which is the bigger of the two opportunities. Feels like possibly some key countries in APAC would be important for the same reason I told you India was important because of the Android market share there. It's actually much bigger even in APAC. So South Korea, Japan, we're currently in Australia, New Zealand. So I think that might be a better round of our portfolio. But after listening to you, felt like listening to you about Logitech, felt like LATAM might be a next big opportunity for us.
Yeah, and I think it's not just it's past the opportunities. It's about understanding the logistical and the end-to-end customer experience. So that's the playbook. And so it's about opportunity. It's about the different end-to-end customer experience, customer service, logistics, fulfillment, and it's where can you where can you actually tackle those? Because that will help you understand, where to expand to next. Because if you can't check some of those boxes off, you'll fail your customers, and you'll fail in that customer experience, and you'll lose them for life. So that's really what's important, aside just from opportunity.
Yeah, we actually seen a lot, so across all of our portfolio of clients, we actually see a lot of focus on that, in Asia Pac, especially as a fact. We actually opened an office in Tokyo recently to help in Asia Pac. But yes, hopefully you're gonna visit soon. And a big focus around the LATAM, particularly Brazil, has been quite on the roadmap for a lot of companies around. And obviously on the other side, Australia and the whole places that Kevin mentioned.
All right, so like I said with the last session, we can keep going, but we're over time. So keep the conversation going. Again, Kathy's one of our finalists. Jonathan was one of the finalists for the award. Yesterday, the eShop World, Valerie was one of the finalists. So I encourage you guys all to stick around for the big global launch of the year announcement at the end of the day. So thank you guys so much for settling in, and quick break and then come back and we